Yo, YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy back at y'all again with another video, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. Thank y'all for checking out the channel. So Mike Tomlin, man, has officially stepped down after 19 seasons with the Steelers, man, as their head coach. He has officially stepped down as the head coach of the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? This past season has been kind of a up and down year for the Steelers. They had Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. He's dinosaur age at this point, and when it comes to being an NFL player, he's in his 40s. They just lost to the Texans 30-6 in the playoffs. It was really, really ugly, man. They looked completely outmatched out there. And I'm hearing that Mike Tomlin didn't get fired, y'all. He stepped down, and apparently, if another team wanted him to be their head coach, they would have to trade for him because technically he's still a part of the Steelers organization. I don't necessarily know how any of that stuff works necessarily, man, but after 19 seasons, man, Mike Tomlin won one Super Bowl with the Steelers, man. I think that was back in 2009 against the Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Has never had a losing season. Always made the playoffs for the most part. Didn't really go far, in the playoffs ever really, but they did make the playoffs every year, and he did have a winning record just about every year of his career with the Steelers. So Mike Tomlin is not a trash coach. He's a very decorated head coach. He provides a lot of stability for any organization he goes to next. I don't know if he's going to retire or what. Haven't really heard anything about that, but that's what he did for the Steelers for sure. Now, people can sit here and say the Steelers have been mediocre for a while now, but they've never had a losing record under Mike Tomlin, and they 9 times out of 10 always make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So give the man credit for that for what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? The Steelers, though, I think their main problem is offense, and it's been offense for years. You know what I mean? A lot of those Super Bowls that they won back in the day, they won it off the back of their defense. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the Steelers right now, going into this new head coaching hire or the candidates that they're going to be looking into, I really, really feel like they should focus or prioritize more so on getting an offensive head coach, or offensive-minded head coach, and just maybe shift gears, man, because I think that's what this team needs. I think the defense is what the defense is. They paid T.J. Watt a shit ton of money. He ended up having some type of medical issue, later on in the season, so he wasn't really I don't think he played in that playoff game against the Texans, so I don't think he played, much. I don't think he played at all, if anything. But there's a couple of names in here. Sorry, y'all. There's a couple of names in here that I would like to go over as far as being like a candidate for the Steelers head coaching gig. I want to naming a few guys. Chris Shula is one of the guys that come to mind. The Rams' current defensive coordinator. Now, the Rams' defense hasn't been predominantly that strong this season. You know what I'm saying? But they don't really necessarily have all the talent in the world either. You know what I'm saying? And Chris Schuler has been making do with what to do. And I think he's the son of Don Shula, if I'm not mistaken. So his defense is kind of in his DNA in a sense. Brian Flores is another guy. We all remember him from his stint in Miami. Him wanting Justin Herbert over Tua Tagovailoa. He's been out of a head coaching job for a while now, and he's been one of the top candidates in this head coaching thing because a lot of head coaches have been getting fired, been replaced left and right. But Brian Flores, he's one of the top candidates this year, man, and I very, very well expect him to land a job. Just don't know if it's going to be with the Steelers, but I don't necessarily think that would be a bad move if the Steelers still wanted to keep a defensive-minded head coach. Another offensive coordinator that's kind of been on the rise lately is Jesse Minter from the Chargers, offensive coordinator. Now, when the Philadelphia Eagles were thinking about firing Nick Sirianni, quote unquote, Jesse Minter was one of the guys that came up in like articles and conversations and stuff like that. But he ended up taking an offensive coordinator job with the Chargers. He did I believe he was an offensive coordinator in Michigan as well. So, make do with that what you will. But I don't think he would be a bad hire at all. And then you have former Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski. I think Kevin Stefanski for the Steelers would be a great fit. He's very, very familiar with that division already. And I believe he's pretty familiar with the Steelers since he has to play them twice a year. And it wouldn't be a bad thing for him to stick it to the Browns, for letting him go. For real, for real. So I think Kevin Stefanski would be a great hire for the Steelers as well, man. When he has a serviceable quarterback, when he has a good defense, and he has complete control of the offense, he's capable of doing some good things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Kevin Stefanski would be a bad hire at all. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's pretty much it, man. Mike Tomlin, for what it's worth, though, he's been a very stable head coach. You know what I'm saying? A leader of men. 19 seasons in the NFL as a head coach, man, it's not easy. Okay, only a few guys can do that. Only a few guys like the Andy Reids and you know what I'm saying, the Harbaughs can do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So he is a very high tier head coach, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of teams were clamoring to get this dude. Okay, I don't know why he doesn't want to. I think him and the Steelers kind of have ran its course. I think the Aaron Rodgers thing kind of maybe was the nail in the coffin. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't make it work with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I really don't know if Aaron Rodgers is even gonna be back. The Steelers, what sense of direction do the Steelers have? Right now, after losing 30-6, looking completely outclassed by the Texans, it's not hard to see why Mike Tomlin stepped down, man. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about Mike Tomlin moving off of being the Steelers head coach. And y'all let me know how y'all feel about where his landing spots, man. I think he got a lot of good options out there, but we'll just never know, man. But like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll get on the next video, man. Peace.